Good evening, Cheeseheads, and welcome to another episode of the Cheese Room podcast. We're looking ahead to the England match tomorrow with bated breath, and I'm joined by a couple of illustrious guests here tonight who are going to break down what to expect for us. All the way from Denmark. I was going to say Copenhagen, but I'm not sure that's actually a fact. Is that a fact, Benny? Copenhagen?
Yeah. Yes,
Copenhagen. He hails from Copenhagen. He loves the Danish bacon. Here is Benny. How are you, Benny, making your Cheese Room debut on the YouTube channel? You good?
Yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing about tomorrow night. Absolutely buzzing.
Well, we're going to get into it because I want to grill you on, no pun intended, get it? Bacon grill. I want to grill you on your thoughts. Brendan's shaking his head of what you're looking forward to. Brendan, you look like you've got a massive whiskey there. Firstly, what can I expect from you tonight?
Hi, mate. Yeah, just watched a great game, and we're looking forward to another hopefully great game tomorrow against Benny's Danes. So, yeah, really looking forward to tomorrow. And it's beer. It's Brewdog Punk IPA.
Oh, nice. That's a good choice, actually. Benny, you got a beverage of choice there?
That is a Coca-Cola with ice.
Perfect. I mean, what could be better than that? Although, don't show it to Cristiano.
I won't.
So, I mean, cracking game, by the way. We were just watching the penalty shootout together. Obviously, Italy progressed. Spain, I thought they were the better side tonight, Benny. Do you agree?
I agree. Yeah, I think the Italians have looked better all through the tournament, but tonight they looked really shaky.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Bren?
Yeah, I just thought it was an amazing game. It could have gone either way. Italy were amazing on the counter. Their goal was just superb. You could see Donnarumma on the edge of his area when he rolled the ball out, and the next pass, the guy was over the halfway line, just waiting for it. I think it was Chiesa on the left there, and but yeah, just enjoyed it. And it kind of was like I was kind of hoping, for Spain to win, but I'm like, well, why do all that? Because if they beat Italy, they're clearly better than Italy. In my head, I was just thinking that Italy were the better team. I think what's important for England or Denmark in the final is that they'll be knackered after extra time and penalties in a high intensity game, and you'd hope whoever wins tomorrow wouldn't have to. It wouldn't be extra time, so they'll be a bit more fresher.
Well, we can hope that, but I'm guessing it may be a very close game, so it may be very tight. We'll get onto that in a minute. Just time to remind you, if you're just tuning in, Super Chats are live. Please do use those through the pod. It's the best way to support the podcast. Do drop your questions and comments, and we will try and get those to those during the podcast. And finally, do please give us a like, a subscribe, a share, anything. We'll take anything, really. Anything's fine. Benny, I'm going to come to you first. What's the feeling of the nation right now in Copenhagen, Denmark? Are you riding a crest of optimism?
Yeah, the whole city is buzzing. I mean, you see flags in every window, on every balcony. You've got people in football shirts in the streets. You've got the big screen events that are all sold out, and there's just a general positive togetherness about it. It seems, we've gotten a fairly new coach, and he's brought optimism back to the Denmark squad. We're playing attacking football. It's more, the team and the coach seem more approachable and more normal. I mean, the coach is he's a guy you can relate to. He's passionate. He's emotional, compared to the two last coaches we had, who were sort of stiff and formal. So yeah, that's a positive vibe all over the city. Really, it's buzzing, fantastic.
And Bren, you're in the capital right now. I mean, obviously, I'm in the countryside, so you see the odd farmer waving an England flag. But what's the feeling like there? What have you picked up from the cosmopolitan metropolis that is London?
Yeah, so I'm in Wandsworth sort of area, South London at the moment. So shout out to anyone south of the river. I know I'm from north of the river, so it's good to spend time down here. And yeah, just walking past the pub, like the Ukraine game. It was already 1-0. I knew he'd win, so I missed the second half just do some shopping, and just walking past the pub. The atmosphere was amazing. As I said in the last vid, went to the Beehive in Tottenham with Franco to watch England-Germany. It was amazing. I lost my voice. It was for me. It was the best feeling since Euro '96, and that's kind of how it feels because I've been in Brazil for 15 years. So this for me, the whole Euros, the quality of the games, everything. It's just been really enjoyable.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, amen to that. What do you think? How do you think Denmark are going to line up then tomorrow, Benny? What's your thoughts on that? Are we going to see attacking Denmark, or I suppose more pragmatic approach? What do you think?
I think we're going to see. I think we're going to see more of the same that we've seen in the last couple of matches. I think that's the way that Hjulmand wants his team to play. That's the way the players can play. So I think you're going to see Denmark attack from the first minute.
Mm-hmm. And talking about the mood and optimism, do they seriously think they've got a chance against England tomorrow?
Absolutely.
I suppose my question is really, I don't mean that in a taking the piss kind of way.
No, but
is it sort of? Are they thinking? Are people thinking they're going to do it? England are vulnerable. We can get at them.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a feeling that England haven't been playing well this tournament, despite having all the star players. Obviously, there's the matter of scoring against England. That looks pretty tough, but.
Yeah.
I heard an interview with the manager, and he said, if we try to have possession and we try to create space, play deep, and push on, we'll get chances to score, and I think that's what they're going to do. I mean, we saw it against Belgium, where we just blew Belgium out of the park in the first half, and I think we're going to be seeing that tomorrow as well. That's the only way they know how to play is forward.
Yeah, and obviously you touched on it there. England haven't conceded a goal yet. How do you think that's going to break down then? I mean, in fairness, if I say England have not really been tested yet, is probably the nicest way to say it. I mean, we haven't seen them go a goal behind. We don't know how they'd react if they drop the first goal. You'd hope they'd come out, blazing, but a bit like Spain did tonight, really. But how do you think Denmark will break it from a set piece, from a fast sweeping play? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's probably it's going to be over the flanks, maybe from the left across Dahlberg header, 1-0 Denmark. No, I think we're going to come out guns blazing. We're going to be trying to catch England by surprise and try to get 1-0 up and then take it from there.
And Brent, what kind of approach do you think from England? More of the same? Do you think he's going to tinker with that side much? Because obviously Jack Grealish didn't even get a look in the 4-0 victory against Ukraine. Could we see him line back in the starting lineup?
It depends. This will be a much tougher test than Ukraine. So if he went conservative against Ukraine by not playing the sort of flair player of Grealish, he'll probably do that again. I can't see too many changes. Only question for me would be right back. Is Kyle Walker's made a few mistakes, and there's question, which is bizarre because before the tournament we were saying, England have this dearth of right backs, but which one is the decent one? We've gone with Walker because of the experience and because of his ability to get back with his pace. Reece James did okay, and I think he played in one game. And Trippier, I think, has been playing on the other side. So
Trippier's playing left back.
Yeah, so which is again shows his versatility. But I'm really worried about Denmark. The way they play, like it's strange. After what happened, you kind of felt maybe the team would fall apart. You kind of felt bad that they had to go back and play the game after Eriksen was taken to hospital because it just wasn't. They weren't in the right frame of mind. They lost that game, and it almost felt like they were 3 points robbed. They shouldn't have played that game the same day. Yeah. And then they lost the next game, and you didn't expect for Denmark to get this far, which they have, and they've done it with spirit, with really quick, incisive attacking play from Asgard and from Dahlberg. So England have a lot to worry about. It's not going to be an easy game at all. Denmark have pedigree in this competition. I'm sure Kasper will want to emanate his great father and lift the trophy. He's not captain, Kjaer's captain, isn't he? But for Schmeichel to relive in his father's boots from '92, what a story!
Well, I was going to come on to that, and is the feeling a bit similar to '92 when Denmark, won the tournament unexpectedly, unfancied, and came through and won that. I mean, the English sort of way is we're quite arrogant, and almost there's a lot of people talking about who we're playing in the final. tonight, which, to me is completely disrespectful, given that Denmark won a trophy far more recently than us. It's a bit like there's parallels with Tottenham there, isn't there?
Absolutely.
Is it the same sort of feeling as when Denmark won in '92?
I think it's different this time because in '92 the players had gone on holiday. Nobody expected to play. They were out of shape. And they were lucky as well throughout the tournament. But this time, I mean, we're just more well prepared. We've got. I saw somebody, saying that Denmark only won against Wales because the ref had sympathy for them and blah blah blah. It's like, no, we've got really good players. We've got a Champions League winner. We've got players in Barcelona. We've got players in Milan. We've got players from the top clubs all over Europe. So no, it's a great team.
Yeah. No,
Did you see the press conference with Michael today?
No. Tell me.
There was a British journalist who asked him how he would feel if he, prevented football from coming home.
Oh God!
and he was like, "Well, it's not coming home, is it? You never won the Euros." And the journalist just kept on going, "No, but we won the World Cup in '66 and blah blah blah." And Schmeichel was like, "I'm not concerned about England. I'm concerned about Denmark and the feeling that we can bring to the Danish people." It was just, it was cringeworthy, really. Yeah. But there you go.
And this is why we've got bad reputation around the world, really. The arrogance is just next level, really, isn't it? And don't get me wrong, I really hope that we beat you. 100%.
Yeah.
But I don't expect it as a given. Dolberg, I'll talk about him for a minute. He's probably been your standout player of the tournament, hasn't he? I mean, his goals have been vital to you moving forward, and he sounds a bit like the WWE wrestler Goldberg as well, which absolutely gets my vote. I think Brendan put me onto that one. Tell me a bit about Dolberg.
Well, he left Denmark at a very young age. He only played about 3 matches, I think, in the Danish first division before he went to Ajax. And then, well, that's the story from there. He's just a product from the Ajax youth development program, like so many others. But he's got great skills, great technique, and his finishing is just lethal.
Yeah.
He's got a reputation of not showing any emotion when he scores, and I think we've seen that a couple of times as well. So
that's the Danish way, isn't it, Benny?
Well, maybe. I don't know. I think it's a bit. I mean, he could. Come on. But yeah, he's a good player. I think Mæhle, the left back, has stood out pretty much as well. He used to play for my home club actually, so I've known about him for a few years, and I went back on GGTH and because I remember mentioning him before, and that was in 19 during the under 21s Euro, where he played really well as well. So. But I think he's probably interesting to a few bigger clubs than ours now. Unfortunately, he would have been a good signing.
Well, this is it. The Spurs missed the boat on everyone, I think. Brendan, who are your standout Danish players to watch?
I think Dolberg has been superb, and it's Dasgard, isn't it? Not Asgard. Is Asgard the city in Lord of the Rings? Is Dasgard?
Yes.
So,
Asgard's out of Thor, isn't it?
Is it Thor? Oh yeah, it's Thor. Sorry, yeah. One of the Marvel or Lord of the player that got the assist with the outside of the boot. That was Mæhle. That was incredible.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Everybody was expecting him to stop the ball and then cross it with his right foot, but no.
The technique was next level, and so you see there that we cannot underestimate this team whatsoever. They have better pedigree than we do in this competition, in that they've won it. We haven't made the final, so we do need to reel it in a bit. We do need to be prepared, and Southgate will. Southgate is taking every game seriously, and you can see that in the players as well. We know that we're up for a fight tomorrow. Højbjerg has been superb. I'm just worried for him for Spurs for next season, because he must be knackered. He played every game for us. He was already knackered for us in the last 3 months of the season, and now he's playing incredibly for Denmark. But putting that aside, the Spurs hat off for a second. It's going to be a monumental tussles. It's Højbjerg and Delaney. No,
Delaney, yeah.
it is Delaney. Yeah, sorry, in midfield. They won't give you any time on the ball. They're going to be at all of the attacking players. So it's going to be tough. I can't see Southgate changing it up too much. The only question mark, as I said, is over Kyle Walker. But it's not going to be easy. Home advantage, I think, may be key here. If the crowd get behind the team, which you would hope so, with 60,000, I think, is it that's been announced?
Oh yeah, 60,000 there tomorrow. So, it's going to be loud. Yeah,
it's going to be.
I was chuckling to myself tonight because there's obviously quite a few England fans in the crowd tonight, and you could hear them singing "It's coming home, it's coming home," and then all the Spanish and the Italian fans were like booing and jeering. It just sounds like a great atmosphere, to be honest, and light-hearted fun, I think, as well. Hopefully. Yeah. Would you say it's fair to say that with what happened to Christian Eriksen in the first game, that's really galvanised the sort of Danish team spirit, Benny? I mean, how is Christian? I take it he's at home and resting now, I guess.
Yeah. There were pictures on social media with him and his son. He was outside, Beautiful. So yeah, he looks as if he's recovered totally, which is good. It was terrible. I mean, it was terrible watching. I was watching on a channel that brought the UEFA feed, so we saw everything. It was terrible. I can't believe nobody pushed the button. Nobody pushed the stop button. It was just so unnecessary to see that. A personal tragedy. But yeah, I mean, it was obvious in especially the match against Belgium and also against Russia, playing at home in Parken. With a big crowd, that the team were really, really passionate, and the crowd was behind them. But it was a tight knit squad already. So, but yeah, definitely it has brought them even closer together, and they want to do this for Christian, obviously.
Yeah, I read that Harry Kane's going to present some sort of England shirt to the Danish team.
All the opponents have done that so far. The national their shirt with get well soon in their local language, and then signed shirt. So yeah, that would be also a nice touch.
As we're Spurs fans as well, it has sort of highlighted the need for defibrillators, which Justin Edinburgh's son Charlie, who has spoken about it on the pod, is pushing with Justin's Law, just ensuring that any football ground or any gymnasium, even any swimming pool, that these defibrillators are there for these matters. And it was Kiar that gave him CPR at the beginning, then the defib came along, and so it was it's highlighted if any good is going to come of it, which sounds bizarre. It is the fact that it has put this situation in the spotlight, that the difference between having a heart attack and a cardiac arrest. And Charlie, bless him, I saw him on Sky Sports demonstrating how to use a defib for people watching, and I found it very useful to find out. So it was a tragedy for everyone, and obviously us being Spurs fans even more so. So thank God he pulled through.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have them in the streets in England?
Yeah, we do. Okay. Yeah. I mean, they're in a lot of public places. I mean, obviously, I work in retail. That we've got one at work, and it's saved lives in the store that I work recently as well. So that they're absolutely invaluable. They should be in all public places. I mean, I find it bonkers to think that there would be sports halls that don't have them. But I guess, there's a lot of sports halls, so I guess that's the challenge. But you're right. It's good that campaign is really highlighted off the back of this, and hopefully will save lives. Yeah. Moving on from the match to in fact, let's stick with it just a minute. What's your prediction then, Benny? What's the score going to be?
Denmark are going to win 1-0.
Bren,
come on, that's what you want, isn't it?
Controversial. I mean,
that's why I'm on, right?
Franco saying no cigar, Benny, saving that for tomorrow night.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to smoke 2 tomorrow night.
When the fat lady sings and all the rest of it. Brent, come on, you can beat that.
Oh, I'm going to go a tense 3-1 to England. But we'll get the third very late on after Denmark pushing us for it will break. And I just think that engine room that Denmark have got, they've got to run out of steam soon. They went through a long extra time against Ukraine, and you'd hope that would play a role. So 3-1 to England.
I mean,
sorry, not against Ukraine.
Ukraine.
Sweden. No, fucking hell. Sorry. Who did you play in?
We haven't played extra time.
Oh, you haven't played extra time. Okay.
No, we haven't. No.
I was confused with Ukraine.
We beat the Czech Republic 2-1.
Czech Republic, that was it.
Yeah.
We've had some close games. I mean, I think Denmark will run out of steam. For my money's worth, this is where your tournament ends. I'm afraid, Benny. It's been a fun run. It's been enjoyable. I've enjoyed watching it, but this is where the fun ends because I think England will. I think we'll win comfortably after an early scare. I think we'll win comfortably. I think England have got better players, and they're at home with 60,000 people behind them. And that I think that the kicker for England is that, for me, it's they've only had to play that one game away from home, and
not letting in any Denmark fans is gonna be proof good for you as well.
Exactly,
what a joke.
Well, I mean,
it is a joke.
It's a joke all over. The whole tournament's a joke in terms of it being in every different city.
Problems with it. Yeah, exactly. There's lots of problems with it all over the continent. I mean, and if they'd have played it, after in 2 weeks' time, you could have had pretty much full capacity and all the rest of it. So, although I don't know what the restrictions will be about quarantine, and I'd imagine they'd be pretty similar. So it just makes having a tournament like this very difficult. UEFA should have put it all in England or all in France or wherever, so at least people could go there and stay for a month if they want to and support the team. You are right, it is difficult. Having said all of that, we'll take every advantage because it pretty much has been based.
You're going to need it
in Wembley. Harry Kane's going to bring the pain, and ultimately, I would. My prediction in our Patreon chat group was a 3-1 win, and I think that's where it will go down. I think Denmark will absolutely give us a very good game, but I think we should win with 60,000 people roaring them on.
Are you going to invite me back so I can gloat if it goes differently?
Yeah, that's true. You have to ban Benny now.
Just in case.
I mean, so the sad thing for me is I'm actually taking my daughter. This was booked well in advance before I thought we even had a chance. I'll be honest, I thought we'd be out sort of group stages last 16. So I'm actually away tomorrow night. So we will have you back on, absolutely, Benny, but it might be Friday. Looking forward to the weekend game rather than
I'm not going to be watching the immediate game if Denmark don't go through. Why would I be concerned about the weekend's game if Denmark don't win?
Well,
so we can gloat.
You'd like to come back anyway,
Yeah, no worries.
So moving on to Spurs stuff, if I may, because Benny, I didn't disclose this at the beginning. You're a massive Spurs fan as well. That's right.
Yeah.
How many years a Spurs fan?
Since 1984 UEFA Cup.
So suffering for a very long time then, like the rest of us.
Oh yes.
So just a few bits of news today. Guardiola's apparently sent the press today. Manchester City can't afford £150 million to sign Harry Kane. Thoughts on that, Benny?
What a shame. No, as I said to you earlier, I mean, maybe it's a good idea to sell him soon. He's not getting more valuable. He's 27 now. Maybe it's the right time. I don't know. I mean, we're fortunate to have him. He's the best striker in the world, but does he limit us?
At what point do you cash your chips?
Yeah. You can get a lot of quality for 150 million.
Can have Dolberg. Bren, what are you saying?
1 more year. Don't think his value will drop in the space of a year. We get 1 more year out of him, then he can move on. I think we'll still get 100 plus. He's shown consistency over the last 7-8 years. So I can't see his value dropping.
Well, I agree with you. What do you think of Guardiola's comments that City can't afford him?
Good. See you later. Fine. Whatever. Go after some other geezer. He's our player. I liked his comments with Paratici recently when he said oh, it's nice to be wanted and stuff, and we're going to talk. So fingers crossed Paratici can work his Italian charm, make Harry feel a bit more.
For some pasta, sit him down in a restaurant. And he could go one of two ways, couldn't he? He could go the nice guy, or he could just be like the Mafonso boss, threatening to break his legs if he leaves.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he's played both roles, but I can't see Harry going. I really can't. City is the only place with money. Madrid can't afford him. Barcelona can't afford him. United are spunking all their money on Sancho. I can't see them spend another 150 on Harry. His options are limited. He's got 3 years left on his deal. I really can't see this happening. He's staying, and let's just have a good season. And I think he is excited for the new season. He probably did want to leave, but I think he must understand that there's no options.
And if he wins the Euros, Benny, does that cure the itch, Benny, do you think?
100%. For winning stuff?
Winning trophies, yeah.
No, I don't think that's enough for him. He wants to win trophies with Spurs as well. I mean, I don't think he wants to leave, and I don't think he's leaving. But if he was to leave, it's, as I said, it's a lot of money, and we can do a lot with that money. So,
as long as we're spending it well.
I was going to say, I thought you wanted to say something, Ben. You sort of
no, that's what I was just going to say. It depends who's spending the money. Like we've wasted a lot of money before.
Paratici.
It's actually pronounced Paratici. The emphasis is on the Paratici. Paratici. So, like again, I use the analogy of the Rolodex. People don't know what that is, but like his phone with loads of contacts and knowing sort of good players to get. I reckon he can pick us out a gem of a striker out of Italy for decent money. That that's on no one's big radar. So yeah, I think if he does go, I think Levy bringing in Paratici is preparing for that, because I don't think Levy trusts himself to spend 150 or Hitchens. So Paratici's probably there to deal with the eventual inevitable. But I
is
still
that
think
a lot of Filofax, by the way, Brendan?
What? No, the Rolly one, the Rolodex. The Filofax was a file. Rolly was a Rolly.
Rolly.
Yeah, Benny's nodding. Benny knows what I mean.
I know what it is. Yeah.
I'm going to have to Google it, mate.
Slip business cards in it as well. It just whirls round alphabetically. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. I do know those things. Yeah, they're before my time even, they are.
Well, anyway.
You're calling us old?
I'm 6 months younger than you as well.
Brendan's 6 months younger than me. Yeah. Little known fact. I mean, I look about 10 years older than him. Let's be honest. So, but then he lives in Brazil in the sunshine. I have to face Britain every day. So that's Kane discussed. Vestergaard is close. Apparently, is the latest rumor. So Vestergaard, Benny, would you be happy with that?
I thought he was older. He's been around for ages, and he's only 28. I thought he was like 35 or something, because he's been playing for ages.
Do you know, when you started that sentence, I thought you meant me.
Yeah.
Where was he before Southampton? Sorry, Benny.
I don't remember. Was he in? I'll have to look it up. I don't remember.
No.
Was he in Spain? Maybe.
He's a unit. He's huge. Like he's tall. Like in the air. Like you can't compete with him. So I'm just concerned with and that's one thing in ahead to tomorrow, that players like Sterling might get at him, because they're not aerial players. They're more get it on the ground. Him and Shaw in the overlap. Our main danger is down that left hand side. So I think Vestergaard against Kane will be interesting tomorrow. And who's the other?
By the way, Vestergaard's previous clubs were he's been at Hoffenheim, Werder Bremen, and Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Only Germany.
Is he worth it though, Benny?
How much are we paying for him?
Not much, because it's his last year.
Not much at all. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then he's worth it. Yeah.
Over Anderson or together? Both.
They're two different players, Anderson is more like the Toby kind of player who's got skill and technique and likes to play the ball, and Vestergaard is more like
a lump
Dawson kind of guy. So they're two very different players. Difficult to compare them.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
So you do a mixture of both, really, don't you?
Yeah, it depends who we shift out as well. Like we need centre back reinforcements, and who do you think is going to go? Like Dyer, and who's going to buy them? Who's going to pay us? Like our most valuable asset is probably Sanchez in terms of the defense.
And that's scary, isn't it? I mean, when you look at it on paper, you sort of talk Sanchez. Who's going to buy him? Probably someone would be interested, but we're going to lose money on him. And is Levy going to do that in this climate? Probably better to hold on to him. Dyer, similar thing, really. You're not going to get the money. I don't think there's many clubs going to be really, bowling over trying to get hold of him. And then you've got obviously Roden, who is not going anywhere, let's face it, despite rumours about him going to Brighton. I can't see that happening because he's one for the future. Tanganga, who is, again, one for the future. Wouldn't surprise me if we loaned him out. And then Alderweireld, who, again, is apparently asked to leave the club, but he's on 120k a week. And I don't think there's going to be many takers in this climate. I also read that we've slapped a 25 million quid asking price on his head.
Really?
And if that's true, I mean, it's a big if because these are just rumours. But if that's true, there's not going to be many takers for Toby, is there? Because, he's got a year left of his contract. Why not, let him do that? I've got to be honest. I thought Toby would see out his contract for another year. So I'm quite surprised to hear that he's unhappy and wants to go. And then, retire back to Belgium or wherever. He'd tell you in London, Brent.
South London, isn't it?
They're coming to take you away. So it's like you say, it is a conundrum. Benny, who do you see out the door centre back for us?
Well, as you said, it's going to be difficult to shift any of them. I hope maybe Sanchez, because he's been really disappointing. He's just too unreliable, and he's probably the most valuable of them in terms of other clubs. And Toby, he's going to stay and he's going to run out the contract, and that's it, isn't it?
I think he will. And I think, the thing is having Toby at the club, you've got him giving his experience to a lot of other people. The young ones, Roden can learn a lot from him around positional play, passing, how to spot that beautiful diagonal pass that he's sort of famed for. If you're a Spurs fan, you know what I'm talking about. So it's going to be an interesting one. But in terms of signing centre backs, so there's three. Obviously, we've been linked with Anderson as well, and then there's Tomiyasu, who apparently is almost a done deal now. So 18 million quid, which is not to pay for a player, but he's sort of the premier Japanese player. So Levy is getting very excited over the money that he's going to be getting from foreign visitors to the stadium, I would imagine. But apparently he's a player. Apparently, from everything I hear about him, he will be a very good signing. 18 million quid to Fiorentina. So there's one through the door straight away. So. Yeah.
I saw a video of him, a few of his clips, and again, YouTube can make anyone look great. But
I could put a greatest hits compilation of us together, and it'd look good, Bren. I mean,
So he's big and strong, and again, it was just very quick clips on YouTube. But Fiorentina aren't a bad side. They were about to be managed by Gattuso before he went crazy and left. I've seen him, and 18 million. I don't know if he'd be a starter, but Nuno can coach players. Like he made Cody an excellent centre back, so it's clearly something that he's good at.
Absolutely. Well, that is all we've got time for tonight. We've had to cut time short because obviously the Euros overran. Tomorrow night I will be in the CBeebies hotel bar at Alton Towers watching the game. I mean, fantastic. So I can't wait for that. Slightly less atmospheric from than the man cave. Anything from you, Benny, before we go?
Yeah, I'm just going to say I'm going to be watching a big screen event tomorrow night with loads of noisy Denmark fans. So,
and you're going to lose, right?
Fingers crossed. It's going to be a close one.
Brendan, anything from you, mate?
I'm just surprised that the CBeebies hotel has a bar. Like, What does it look like? Like, is it are children serving? Can children go behind the bar?
Technically, it's called the Windmill Restaurant, I think, and there's a little bar bit around the corner with a screen that they put like kids programs on during the day. But I'm reliably informed by my contact at Alton Towers.
You got Alton Towers contact.
I have actually, yeah, I have. That they're going to have a screening on there, and that's the hotel I'm staying in. So it's my daughter's 2, so yes, should be great. Should be great. A different place to watch the game and a little bit more, a little bit more decorum than I'd have in the man cave. But I tell you what, if we get through to Sunday night, it's going to be mental, absolutely mental. It's a bit like Spurs winning a trophy. I've barely seen that in my lifetime. So, I mean, you're lucky, Benny. They lifted it in 92. So you've had that feeling, me and Brendan in our whole lifetime, England have not amounted to anything more than a semi. So let's hope we can go one stage further and go the full 9 yards tomorrow night against your Danish boys. So, look, have a great night. Thanks for joining me very much, guys. And we'll see you on the other side, Benny.
Absolutely.
Come on, you Spurs.
Kom så Denmark.